Hi everyone, it's Deb. I'm here with 10 on the 10th, which is Christmas cards, and this is a collab hosted by Metal Scrappin' Chick, and her name is Kim. So this month I decided to go back and continue to work on this paper pad that I used a lot of in December. I think I'm down to 10 full sheets now, but I still have quite a few scrap pieces. So although I did use some scraps this time, the pad is actually starting to fall apart. And in addition to that, I am still also working through the dark green color in this paper pad, and I pulled out one red 12 by 12 that is not Stampin' Up. I don't remember the brand of that, but I'm down to I think 3.5 pieces of the dark green in that Craftsmith Hot Buy that I've had for quite a while. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other shades of green in there, but anyway. So I made a variety of cards this time. The first two I actually made envelopes for as well, and they are 6 by 6 cards. They're both laid out the same almost. So this is a piece of the the paper pad. So is this, and so is this. But I backed it on that red paper I showed you I had cut into around here. And then what I did is I used 2 stamp sets. The Merry Christmas comes out of this hot off the press Fancy Christmas Greetings. It's HOTP 1215. Anyway, 2016 hot off the press. I think I got it in 2017 or possibly early 18 on sale. But I used Stampin' Up's Real Red to stamp. And I also used this Holly Berry here. And I stamped it in Real Red and then colored it with this Garden Green Stampin' Right marker. But when I stamped it up here, it kind of got, I must have moved it and it got blurry, so I put a little bow there. Okay, so that's the first one. And then the second one, I did the same thing. This time those got okay, but when I glued it down, everything was good. When I glued it down, I thought the ink was dry and my hand was dry, but maybe not because it smeared the Merry Christmas. So I thought, oh great, well, now what I'm going to do, because everything was already down. So I pulled out the Stitch So Sweetly dies from Stampin' Up. Got this rectangle, and I put this Have a Holly Jolly Christmas and a Happy New Year, which fit over the top of it pretty well. It buried part of a leaf of the hollies, but that's okay. And then I pulled out these little Stampin' Up red rhinestone basic jewels. They're like 4mm or something, and they're in the annual catalog. They're number 146924. Okay. And so, and then the envelopes I made on the 123 punch board. It required a 9 and I think 7/8, 9 3/4. I haven't decided how I'm going to close them yet, but I used this piece of designer paper first because it went with the hollies. Excuse me, and I didn't have another one of those, so I used this one, which is like flowers with red berries in it too. So I thought that was the next best choice. And so those are the first two things. So this used up nearly one sheet, and then these, I'd say half a sheet of this red, which had already been cut into, and probably a little less than half for the green holly paper like this, but I think that had already been cut into as well. 1 second please. Okay, so the next card, two cards, I used this Penny Black Slapsticks Cling, and what is it called? Getting Ready. It's a 2017 Getting Ready 40-575. And I had these pieces of sort of wood grain, but with some pine cones on them and holly berry leaves. And I colored right on those papers. I stamped and colored right on those papers with Memento Tuxedo Black. And I did use my Stampin' Blends and the color lifter a little bit on some of these balls, which I still might actually, let's just do that, go over the Christmas balls with Wink of Stella a little bit. They need a little bit of shimmery shimmer to my eye. So we'll just do that on the little Christmas balls there. Anyway, so I thought they turned out super cute. And what made me think of it is because of the greenery already on there, on the paper. Now the only problem is when I colored the belly, you'll notice that this one, actually they both do, I used my chalk white marker over the belly because the wood shows through, but I think I need to do more on this guy because it seems like it's still coming through too much. So I tried to use the white chalk marker to eliminate or cover the look of the wood grain there a little bit. It's real faint, and it is a striped cat anyway, but I don't know. We'll try a little more and see. I don't think it's going to work that much. I might have to find something else to do to put white on there. Any ideas are welcome. So those are my next two, and I think I just for now left them blank inside. I just put a piece of that dark green paper and the white cardstock I'm using is Georgia Pacific, I think 90 pound from Walmart. And the envelopes and card bases I am using out of my stash. It's one of my goals. I'm using these Love Nicole, which I had gotten at AC Moore in 2018, which I won't be able to do anymore. There were 25 cards and envelopes, and I'm using them up. I'm getting there. So those are cards 2 and 3. I mean 3 and 4, excuse me. And then the next two, I had 2 more pieces of that wood grain, but it had a little piece of a poinsettia, and I had these 2 strips of cut-aparts with the plaid and then like the snowflake, and I sort of thought Nordic snowflake. So I was digging in my non-Stampin' Up! Stamps, and I had this that came in a magazine, Scandi Christmas, Scandinavian Christmas. 30-piece stamp and snowflake embossing folder, which I didn't use, but that sort of reminded me of that. So I used this stag, but it colors it in all solid. And then I also used this Noel here. And so what I did is, this was all like the plain wood grain up to the top. I put this piece of border trim on both. I stamped on that white paper with cherry cobbler, because this color is more cherry cobbler than real red. And then I just went around the edge of the circle with garden green again. And then on the Noel, I used the Timeless Label Punch by Stampin' Up. And I went around the edge of that with cherry cobbler, just the opposite. And then these are just recently retired, the Twal Tidings glitter enamel dots, and I used one of the actually real red down here, but it looks alright, and 2 of the garden green, because that green is pretty close to what this paper green is. So I backed them on the green paper I'm trying to use up. And then inside, I did the same and left them plain for now. I'll probably just stamp Merry Christmas, or I have some sentiment stamps, but I don't know who I'm sending them to yet, so I'm going to wait on that. And they have the envelopes with them. And then, so that's that one. Let me move them out of the way. Okay. Yeah, and then the next 2 are just from the paper itself, if I can get a hold of them. I had these two Believe cut aparts, and I backed them on that Georgia Pacific white. Now, I did this one first, and I thought I had another piece of this paper, but I couldn't find it. So I pulled out this paper, and then I later found, yes indeed, I did have another little bit of this paper that would have been plenty, but oh well. So again, that green cardstock, the plaid from the paper pad, the green cardstock just going up and down. The Believe that already had the gold onto the white. I bumped that up using this foam tape I'm trying to use up. It's getting low for the first roll, yay. And it is very sticky. In other words, once you get it down, it sticks. It's also very sticky in the sense that it messes up my scissors every time, and I have to clean them with alcohol. But it works, so, you know, and I'm trying to use it. And then inside, I think I had a smaller piece of white left, so I just did the border with the green and put the white in. And then this one I cut into another full sheet because I didn't think I had any more of that, and I did, but oh well, it worked. Same thing. And then these are Stampin' Up! Little metallic pearls. They come in a pack with gold and silver, and I use 3 gold on each one. Oops, oh gosh. This one I did across the top, which I did that second, I think, and I wish I had done this the same way, I think, but it looks alright. So I just put 3 on. So those are the next 2. And then the last 2 are one-offs. I had one more cut apart that made sense going on a card. I have some other ones, but they're more for tags or something. So a piece of the green paper, it was a little too small for a big border, so I had this scrap and it was a little bit too long, so I cut it down, staggered them, then I put the cut apart onto the green again, so it looked like green designer, and layered it that way. And then this is a piece of retired Stampin' Up! Ribbon called Cherry Cobbler double stitched ribbon. No, oh, it was from the annual 2018 and 19. It retired last year, so, but I still have a lot of it. I'm trying to use it in some projects. And then inside this one, because that said Holly Jolly, I used the Have a Holly Jolly Christmas and a Happy New Year, which I think was that same stamp from Stampers Anonymous, Tim Holtz. So there's that. But I put it on the inside this time. Oh, and here, same thing. I had a scrap of green, and then I cut this. It was a little too long, so I cut it and brought it down under the green, and then just put white on top of it. And then the last card, I went back to that red piece of paper as a backing, as well as to do these backings. And these are also Tim Holtz, but this time I used the sled and the Season's Greetings from Our Home to Yours. And a piece of the foil paper, I still have a little bit of that left as well. It's a lot of red, but I thought the gold and the white broke it up a little bit. And then more, there's enamel dots. There's some more gold straight paper backing on the inside. And I think I am going to put a greeting in here, but I just haven't figured out the right one. Same with all the ones that are blank. So those are my 10 cards for this time. So 8 A2 and 2 6x6. I'm not going to have room. So we'll put them like this. And like this, and then these 2. So I can't put them in the screen. So yeah, that's what I did, and I'm working through that pad, trying to finish it. I don't know if I'm gonna count it as my use it up for February, maybe for March, because I still have, like I said, 10 more full sheets and a bunch of scraps. I'm kind of getting tired of working with it, but I was happy that these 4 anyway used these scraps with the pine needles and pine cones and pieces of poinsettia on that were cut out of a bigger sheet. Sadly, I have another one of those big sheets, and so I may end up with 4 more of those, or at least 2 more. I'm not sure. And so yeah, we'll bring these in. So there you have it. I hope you'll come back next month and see what I make next month. I'm not sure if I'll use the same pad or not. Like I said, I'm getting kind of tired of it. Anyway, but I do want to use that paper pad up because I have lots of other ones to use. So with that, I will let you go. Please make sure to go check out all the other participants in the collab. They'll be linked down below the video. And if you like anything you see, please give us a thumbs up. And also comment. We love reading your comments as well. And I try to respond to everybody either with at least a heart, or I usually try and at least say thank you or something like that. So you know I've seen your comments, and I do try to respond. And sometimes it's hard because I have a busy time here, but I try. All right, talk to you soon. Hugs, love, and peace.